Okay, exactly. So scalping, you can scalp anything, be it DCX, Forex, HFX, it doesn't matter. You can scalp anything, right? So whether you are on the DCX package, you're on the HFX package, or you're, okay, TBX now package, or you're on the FRX package, doesn't matter. You can still scalp. Now, most times what we do when we are trading binary options literally is we're scalping. We're trying to take, trades within short minutes. So you can decide to do three things to your trades. You can decide to, for example, if you see a trade idea, I'm going to be logging into levels. So those of you who have levels app, you can use that. If you don't, then that's no worries. You can always purchase levels app from the academy. So I'll be using levels app to get our trade ideas, okay? Because on levels, you can use levels for both TBX and also FRX. So, but with levels, we have a lot of trades that come in. So that's why I want to use that. So you can decide to do three things with your trades. You can decide to, one, scalp your trades if you want. Two, you can decide to take pending orders. Pending orders are trades that you take and you allow it to play out, if the thing reaches your zone, okay? And you can decide to also take immediate trades and then do what we call swing trading. Take immediate trades and do what we call swing trading. So swing trading is almost like the opposite of scalping. Because with swing trading, what happens is that you allow your trade to stay for longer than a day. So probably days, a day plus, do you get? But when you're scalping, you're trying to look into the market and be able to snatch quick profits, right? So sometimes people don't see scalping as a legal way of trading, but it doesn't matter. Whatever style that works best for you. I frankly love to scalp when I'm trading because it saves me a lot of time. But then some other times I take pending orders, and some other times I might just, decide to take a swing trade. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, once you can see my screen, you just let me know. Once you can see my screen, you please let me know. I would be using, so whenever I want to scalp, there are three things that I use. Number one, currency strength meter. You can help me write that. Whenever I want to scalp, there are three things I pay attention to. Number one, currency strength meter. Number two, support and resistance zone. So you can just say SRT, support, resistance, trends. Support, resistance, trends. Number three, the news. Number three, the news. Those are frankly the three things I pay attention to. Now, you can also scalp paying attention to other things as well, depending on you. So I have this opened, and then I would also be using levels. So I have levels opened here as well. So I'll use both of them, okay? And then let me open currency strength meter. And then, so for currency strength meter, you can use the currency strength meter here, or you can use the one that you can see on your Liberty app, or the one that, yeah, on your Liberty app, correct. And then I'll use Forex Factory to also see what is the news saying, right? What is the news saying? Just to be sure, okay? One of the things that makes you a very good trader is when you can trade with news, all right? When you can trade with the news. All right, so this is Trading View, okay? So I just like Trading View because of how it looks, basically, nothing more. So you still need your levels to get the trade idea. So I mark my charts on my Trading View, and then I get the trade idea from levels. And then I also confirm with strength and with Forex news. So there are different ways to scalp, frankly. It all depends on what works for you and how you love doing your stuff. So the first thing I do first when I see, because on levels, there'll always be tons and tons of trade ideas that come in, okay? So I have to, first of all, like scan through the trades. For example, we're going to take a trade right here on the call, right? Just so that you see. For example, I come on and I see different trade ideas, right? So I have to see, what do I want to do? Do I want to scalp? Do I want to take a pending order? Do I just want to enter an immediate trade? But obviously I want to scalp. But you don't have to scalp all the trades. You have to see which trade has a good setup that you would like to scalp. Now, for example, I want to look at AUD USD, right? This idea was called for a buy, and it's already moving in that direction, but on a 4 hours. So I can change this to, I can try to check what 30 minutes looks like, right? On 30 minutes, the last candle is giving a pullback, which is this. I hope I'm not talking to newbies though, so because I'm jumping some basic things. If you might not understand, then don't worry, we have videos that talks about some basics on how this whole stuff works. So I can also put my 5 minutes to see how the trade has been playing out over the past 5 minutes. Now, when you scalp, you want to use the time frame of 5 minutes because you're trying to scalp within short time range. So 5 minutes is always good. So you can analyze on 5 minutes and then also execute what you've analyzed. So now on the 5 minutes time frame, this is what I'm seeing, right? Where the trade is actually playing out. This is the stop loss. This is the entry 1. Let me see if we've got more entries. Just a minute. So we have more entries. I have entry 1, take profit 3, take profit 2, take profit 1, entry 2, and entry 1. So right now, this market has passed entry 1 and 2 and has actually hit take profit 1, going to try and hit take profit 2. And then we can see it move in there is a retracement. Okay, you can see that there's a retracement where the candle is coming down, but this idea was called for a bullish. So in this case, I might want to scalp this for a bullish momentum. This is what I would like to do. I would like to scalp on a bullish momentum. Why? Because I can see that on the 5 minutes frame, this is 5 minutes candle, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, it has been coming down. So obviously, the market does not move in one direction. That is a rule. The market would always retrace. The market would always try to adjust itself. In that moment where the market is trying to adjust itself, I make my money. Does that make sense? In the time where the market is trying to adjust itself, I make my money. I'll be sharing my, let me stop this. I'll be sharing my whiteboard so that I can make illustrations that will make it much easier for you guys to understand, okay? So once you can see my whiteboard, just put some 5s. You can see my whiteboard, put some 5s. You can see my whiteboard, put some 5s. So now, how the Forex market would always work. The Forex market doesn't, okay, please mute for me. The financial market doesn't always just, okay, it's one direction. Let me see, can you guys see? It's one. Okay, it doesn't just go in one direction, no, right? It doesn't just go in one direction. How it works is that it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up. They can go down, they can go up, down, then it goes up, and then it goes. So it doesn't go in one direction. All of this movement where it goes up and down, right? Let me use another. All of this movement where it goes up and down is where no one should please write on my screen. God bless you. So all of this movement, it goes up and down, right, is where I try to steal my profits. All of this movement is where I try to steal my profits, So that means that if I want to scalp, for example, it is very important to see the pattern of that trade. How has the trade been moving for the past maybe 15 minutes, right? So like now I showed you 3 candles. I said for the past 15 minutes, 5 minutes candle, it has been on a downtrend from what I showed you on the screen. It has been what? On a downtrend. So if the trade has been on a downtrend for the past 15 minutes, so these are 3 candles, right? That means there is a likelihood for this trade to retrace and move on an uptrend for a few minutes and then decide to come down again for another maybe 10 minutes and decide to keep going up like this and come down. This is what we call lower lows, higher highs, and then goes up again. I hope that makes sense. The trade would not just go in one direction. If you understand this rule, it helps you know what trades you should scalp and what trades you should not scalp. It's not every pair that you should scalp. Do you understand? It's not every trade idea that you should scalp. You must first look at the trade idea. Is this a good setup for scalping or not? Right? Before we now enter into scalping. Because sometimes people scalp trades and they're like, why is it not working? That was not a good pair to scalp. The setup wasn't right, even though you had everything in place. So before we look at RSTs, SRTs, and your support, resistance, and trends, and you look at currency strength, you need to know, how do I make a good choice of pair? Sometimes I get people ask me, okay, Adaora, what trade or what pairs do you actually trade, right? Most of the time. And I'm like, it depends. I'm not the one that calls out the trades. We have educators, wonderful experienced people. They call out trades. It's left for me to choose which trade I want to enter and which trade I don't want to enter now for reasons best known to me. Do you understand? So now this is how you know which trade you should scalp and which one you shouldn't scalp, right? You must first of all look at the direction of the market. What is the direction of the market? If the market is going on a downtrend, then obviously you can see that most of it's a downtrend, then it will retrace. So you can decide to say, okay, you want to steal that retracement. When it goes up, this is where you want to scalp. This is what you want to take. When it's going to retrace, you want to steal this. If the market is going on a downtrend, for example, you can say, okay, when it's going up back, that's when you want to, when it's going up back, if the market is going on a downtrend, obviously it will definitely go up, right? So when it's going up back, maybe that's when you want to what? Steal your own profits and leave the market. That's one. And other people can scalp in such a way that, let's say the market is overall on a downtrend, right? So they can also scalp according to the trend. How do you do that? Let's say it goes down, right? Then it goes up, then it goes down, then it goes up, then it goes down. What does this look like? Is this an uptrend or a downtrend? It goes down, then it goes up, then it goes down, then it goes up, then it goes down, then it goes up. This is an overall downtrend, right? This is an overall downtrend, correct? So now someone can say, okay, I want to scalp in accordance to the trend, right? If I want to scalp in accordance to the trend and I can tell that this is an overall downtrend, then it would be wise for me to take what? Higher highs. So at this point, when the market hits here, right, I would scalp, I would enter the trade for it to do what? For a bearish momentum, because it's what? It's an overall downtrend. But I need to take the high point. So when it's up here, it has come down, obviously to go up, right? Because like I told you, it has to retrace. So at the point where it retraces, you enter for your first, position. And then it goes down again. You enter again for your second position. It goes down again. You enter again for your third position. I would explain the positions and how you take them, right? But you can decide to also take your trades according to the trend or against the trend. Me personally, I always take against the trend. Like, honestly, I always take against the trend. It depends on the setup. There are some setups I can see I might take for the trend. There are some I might take against. All depends on the setup, what you can see from that trade. The one I showed you on the levels, I told you that we're going to go what? It has been going on a downtrend. I want us to take it on a what? Uptrend, even though the trade idea was called for a what? Bullish momentum. Does that make sense, guys? Did you understand that little illustration? If you got that, please type some sevens. If you got that, I'm taking it step by step so that you get, right? If you got that, please type some sevens. If you got that, please type some sevens. All right, so when I'm entering like when I want to scalp different trades, I have like some rules. Rule number one, which helps with risk management. Nothing is ever sure. Now, one of the sweet things about scalping is your ability to mark zones. But when you are marking zones, when we talk about support, resistance, and trends, there are 3 types of support and there are 3 types of resistance. There are 3 types of support. There are 3 kinds of resistance. The first one is what we can call, let's say, some people like to call it concrete. Some call it concrete. So you can decide to go the other way around. You can do from weak, so I'll give you another word. right? So this, let's call it number, just give me 1 second. Right, let's call this concrete. So concrete, let's call it strong support zone, right? Strong support zone. Number 2 type, the second type, some people like to call it wood. Wood. That one, we call it medium support zone. And then the third one, who knows the third one? It's called a glass. That one is called the weak support zone. In every zone you mark, these 3 can happen, any of these 3, for both support and resistance. So for resistance, you can have a strong resistance zone, you can have a medium resistance zone, and you can have a weak resistance zone. Does that make sense? This is very, 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 very important when you're scalping, to know that these 3 zones exist. Now, based on people who have gone ahead of us, they are able to find out that, okay, weak resistance zones or weak support zones are, let's say, when the candle, right, or the market has hit a certain point for, let's say, 2 to 3 times. 2 to 3 times, that's weak. Some say medium is when the market, let's say the market has hit a certain point or a certain zone or a certain region or a certain price for 3 to 5 times, for example, 3 to 5 times. And then some also say that for strong support zone, that market has touched that price more than 5 times. I hope it's making sense to you, more than 5 times. I'm going to share with you my trading view shortly. More than 5 times gives us what is strong. So by the time you count, you see how many times did the price touch this particular number, this value, let's say 57. How many times the price touch 57? You count it. If it's up to 5 times, then you know that that is a strong support or resistance zone. How many times did the market hit 50, price 50? And then you see that, oh, it hit it 3 times. You count it 1, 2, 3. Price was able to touch that part 50 3 times within the last 10 minutes, within the last 15 minutes, within the last 20 minutes. That is what has happened. Then you say, okay, this is a medium zone. The same thing goes for week, 2 to 3 times. Does that make sense? Because there is a rule in the market. Once price has hit a certain zone or a certain price or a certain point, it will always do it again. It will do it again. It doesn't, the market would always repeat itself. This is why what makes you a good trader is when you can identify patterns, not just having a strategy and knowing support and resistance. You must be able to identify patterns. Millie Mills, when she's teaching, will say, oh, this is about to happen. Once this gets to this zone, guys, I assure you the market will fall. Why is that so? It's not just because she has been able to identify support and resistance. No, she has been able to see a pattern in the market and it's about to repeat itself. So she has seen that, okay, maybe for the past 30 minutes, when price touch here, or when this candle comes out in this shape, this is what will always happen. She has seen it consistently for 30 minutes, and so she's sure. So we must be able to identify patterns. Does that make sense, guys? If it makes sense, please put some 2s. If that makes sense, put some 2s. All right. So now, once you know that patterns will always occur, then that tells you something that for every zone you mark, even if you see that, oh, it is 3 to 5 times the market has hit that price, it is possible that a medium zone can become a strong zone. And a strong zone can decide to be a weak zone. The moment price breaks a strong zone, automatically that zone is no longer strong. It is setting a new pattern. I'm going to erase this. If you want to take a screenshot, you can take a screenshot. I want to erase it right now. I'll give you 1 second. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, I'm erasing. I want to show you guys something. I hope you guys are not in a hurry because, yeah, let me see. Okay, now I'm going to draw. I will show you what it looks like on TradingView, but I need you to, first of all, have a literal concept of what it looks like, because sometimes on TradingView, some of you get confused. All these candles are confusing. What's going on? So let me just use simple analogies for you guys here. So now, for example, let's draw our lines. Always remember and always note that a support can always be a resistance and a resistance can always be a support. Something that was once a roof can become what? It can become the ground. Something that was once a ground can become the roof. That's a principle. Do you get? So don't get confused with support and resistance. If you've been trading long enough, you should understand that. All right, so cool then. Let's draw this. Right? Let's draw this. I hope you're able to. I'm going to just draw different zones. Just mark out different zones for you. Okay? Just mark out different zones. Yes, correct. A floor. Correct. So it can always be a roof or a floor. So now I've marked out different zones for you. These 4 zones. So let me put numbers to it. Let's assume that this is number 70. This is number 50. And this is, let's say, 40. And this is, let's say, 20. I've seen based on what I entered the market, I see, okay, the market probably respects these zones. And I saw that for this one, this is, let's say, let me assume that this is a medium support zone, right? Then I saw that this was a weak support zone based on the things I just explained now. This one is a strong support zone. And then maybe I saw that this one is a weak support zone. If I want to scalp, I don't work with weak zones. I wait for the markets to hit. Maybe if I identify that, oh, this is a strong zone, this is a medium, I'll show you how to identify. I'll show you how to, on the trading view, I'll show you how to mark your charts quickly. But yeah, if I can identify that this is a strong zone, this is a weak, this is medium, this is weak, I would like to work with strong and medium zones. I forget the weak, because weak simply means that it will not stand. It's glass. Once the market hits here, 1, 2, the third time, it can break it and keep going. All right. Strong would mean that this market has got to hit here 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe more, or break it. Do you understand? So when I have this simple understanding that my zones can be broken, no zone is permanent. No zone is permanent. Guys, give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. No zone is permanent, right? So even if you've identified a strong zone, there's still a possibility that the market can break that zone, because the market can do whatever it wants to do. Now, because I know this, it helps me apply proper risk management. That's where I'm going to. When you are scalping, 2 things you must note. You want to, 1, apply it's not a time to do anyhow. It's not a time to take risks and say, oh, you want to maga or something. You don't do that with scalping. Right? So because I want to take proper risk management, I don't enter more than 3 to 4 positions. I don't take more than 3 to 4 positions when I want to scalp. Okay? I open 3 to 4, and I will show you how I open 3 to 4 positions when I want to scalp. And secondly, you cannot scalp with a small account. You can take a pending order with a small account. You can take an immediate order with a small account. But when you want to scalp, you cannot use a $100 account. It's not possible. You will lose your $100. When I first started scalping, I was scalping with a $100 account. I blew my $100 account. The reason behind that is because you want to open multiple positions. For each position, the broker takes a certain amount or percentage from your 100. And the goal is not to risk all your accounts on one day or in one trade or on one pair. No. The goal is to apply proper risk management. So if I need to open 3 to 4 positions, and the sweet part about scalping is that when you want to scalp, you're not using lot size of 0.01. I'll show you all of that shortly. What makes scalping sweet is that you're using a higher lot size and shorter pips, so that within 5 pips, you probably have made like maybe $30 fast and you're out of there. You don't keep the trade for long. That's why it's called scalping. You're taking quick profits. For you to take quick profit, you need to increase your lot size. Once you increase your lot size, the broker increases the amount that he takes from you. If you guys don't understand lot size and pips, then go back to the video on lot size and pips. We did a video on lot size and pips. Very, very important, right? Because you want to apply proper. I've seen people scalp and they lose their money because they did not use the right lot size for their account. They were not supposed to scalp. So I hope this is very, very clear, because it's very, very important. So if you want to scalp, then probably you should be having an account of, let's say, 250 or 500, because you have to open multiple positions when you're scalping. So I hope that makes sense. Now, let me show you how you open multiple positions real quick. How you open multiple positions. What I mean by you have to open multiple positions. Remember, your zone can always be broken. I'll come back to zone when I open the trading view. Your zone can always be broken. So how you take multiple positions? For example, I mentioned 50, 70, and all of that. So let's say I enter this trade at this point, right? And it was 50. Remember, I said we'll take a trade, we'll try and run a trade shortly. All of you would do that. Let's say I entered this trade and it was 50. Okay, this was the zone I entered. And I was going in for a bullish momentum. That means a buy. I want the market to go up, right? So in case I don't mention it that it's bullish, please, or it's buy, just remember that bullish is buy. All right, so I want the market to go up, and I took it, like I'm scalping for it to go up. And right now I took it at 50. And then this market drops down from 50. This is a zone. I marked this zone. This zone is a medium zone. I think this zone would work. So I took it. When this market drops down, probably because the market would behave in whatever pattern it wants to. All we are trying to do is understand the market, right? The market would always behave in the way it wants to behave. Some days, that's why sometimes I tell people, you need to master the nitty-gritty of trading. It's not just, oh, you jump on a session. No, there are nitty-gritties, and this is what makes you a good trader. This is what gives you an advantage. There are days you don't trade, right? I don't trade it. I'll show you a trade that I took. I think it's even been almost a week or so that I traded. It's not every day you can trade just once and make a lot of money and come out, and that's it. Because if the setup is not good, don't enter. It's not you want to get rich quick. Let me just enter and just, oh, they said it's like this. No. There are certain days you don't trade. There are certain times you don't trade. You must learn to trade with the news, because the news has 100% influence on the trades. We are trading news. That's what we're doing. If the economy in Russia is bad, obviously to reflect on the financial market, we're making profits of it or we're making losses of that, whichever. Do you get? So we have to trade intelligently. Now, so if this market drops down, for example, it drops to 40. When I'm scalping, that's my second position there. If I see that this 40, it has dropped to, right? I'll just take it. Second position, first position, second position. Now, when it has dropped to 40, remember I said it's only 3 to 4 positions you need to open. When it has dropped to 40, so I have two trades that are running, 50 and 40. When it has dropped to 40, the market, like I said, doesn't move in one direction. So probably to go up. Maybe it might not hit 50. When it goes up to this point, because I'm taking a high lot size, mostly I use 0.5, right? Mostly, or 0.4 or 0.2 or 3. Those are like areas I work with, right? So it depends on your account size. When it moves down, let's say up this point, maybe to 45, I will close this trade, this second position. I'll close it quickly. When you are scalping, you have to monitor your trade immediately. Like, you're not leaving it and going to do something else. I don't even put stop losses. I'll show you when I put stop losses when I'm scalping. You can put stop losses, but it depends, right? So when it gets to 45, I close this trade immediately. I'm out. This one is still running. I'll just have one position left. If the market moves from 45 and it comes down to this point, I open another position, third position. Now I have two positions still running. This one and this one. Do you get? This one I've already closed it, made my fast profit. Okay. The market now goes to this point, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe it comes down again, right? Because I'm looking at worst case scenario of the market. Maybe the market comes down again to this point. I open another position quickly. I open another position, but you don't open position without sense or reasoning. So I'm going to explain the currency strength, because you must monitor currency strength meters when you're opening position. You must monitor what is going on with that candle at that moment when you're opening position. So let's say everything is green, check, and this is a nice setup. You enter your 4th position and then you wait for it. You can now decide, this is another very key point, how much profit you want to make off each position. There are times you can say, okay, sometimes I don't allow the trade when I'm scalping to go all the way back to 50 before I close my 4th position. No, that's more money, but the market will not just go all the way back to 50. The market will push down push up, push down, push up, and maybe get back to 50 and I close this, or maybe not, right? Maybe it has broken that zone truly and it doesn't intend to go back to that zone until after like 30 minutes. That happens as well, right? So at that moment, I want to tell myself, okay, for each position I open, I only want to make 30 bucks, depending on your lot size and pips calculation. You must do that calculation. Maybe I want to make 30 bucks. So once this market goes back, retraces, and gives me 30 bucks, I close it. This position is still open. I can decide to open another position because I have only 2 positions opened. Or I can decide that, okay, no, I just want to wait for my 2 positions and then I'm done. It all depends on you. But the rule is you should not open more than 4 positions at a goal, at a stretch. Make sure you take your profit because all 4 can decide not to play out. And the market keeps going down. Have you seen some candles that will just come, all of the, just as you are trading, all of a sudden the market will just go boom, straight down. Within like 2 minutes, it's down. A huge red candle, just like what just happened? Have you seen it before? It can happen. It happens. So because I know that can happen, it is not safe for me to do that, because if this market just goes down, boom, that means all my open positions, it will just be running in what? Loss. All right. So now in that case, when I've cleared my 4th position, for example, and the trade is here, and 50 is taking long to play out, the trade is taking long to come back to 50. What I do in this case, I set a stop loss here. You know how to calculate your stop loss, you should. And then for maybe 3rd position, I also set a stop loss and leave, then also probably set a take profit for $30 and leave it. If it's taking a lot of time to revert back or to retrace down to 50, I set a stop loss, I set a take profit, and I leave the trade. I do that sometimes, right? It doesn't have to play out immediately. If it doesn't play out immediately, it means that the zone you picked was not good enough zone, right? It means that the the market has broken that zone and will come back. It always comes back. There are many times I've been with people on trade and I'm like, don't worry, this guy will come back. Yeah, he just left here. He will come. Leave it. It will come. And when you go back to check it, it came back. It will come back. 30 minutes, 1 hour, sometimes 2, sometimes a day, it comes back. But the question is your account big enough to wait for it to come back? All right, that's a very important question. Is your account big enough to wait for it to come back? As long as that was a strong zone that you marked, it will come back to that zone. But it might take a while for it to come back. So these are things that you must note when you are scalping. Guys, if this has made sense for you thus far, let me just see those 3s. If this has made sense for you thus far, let me see those 3s. Now I want to go now to trading view. And then afterwards, I'll open MetaTrader 4. And then we see how all these things we've explained, how it makes sense when you're actually trading. Okay, sorry guys. All right, if it makes sense, let me see those 3s. We'll move now to trading view and we see how all of this really makes how all this plays out into reality. And then we'll go to trading view, we'll go to MetaTrader 4, and if you've got questions, you please let me know, and then we call it a night. All right, so once you can see my screen for trading view, just let me know. You can see my screen. Okay, yeah. Okay, we'll use this too. So how many of you remember this trade I mentioned for you, AUD USD? How many of you remember it? How many of you remember? Did you see what it did? It went up. I told you, you saw these 3 candles, 1, 2, 3, right? At this point, then it went another 4-1, went up, went down, now it's going up. 5, 10, 15. Do you get me? So when you understand the setup you want to use, it helps, it saves you a lot. I saw Euro USD, I didn't choose Euro. I saw GBP CAD, I didn't choose Euro. I came to AUD USD and I'm like, this is a nice setup, right? You have to change it to 5 minutes. This is a nice setup for me to take what I want to take. Okay, so it's not all the trades that might be a nice setup for you if you want to scalp. If you're taking a pending order, that's entirely different. Okay, so now when you come to trading view, okay guys, just a minute. All right, when you come to trading view, you want to mark your charts quickly. All right, now there are 2 ways to mark charts depending on the principle you want to use. Some people believe that when they mark their charts, let's say they're using the, so maybe you're using the 5 minutes because we analyze on the 5 minutes when you want to scalp. Okay. Okay, this is AUD USD, wonderful. So this is not my trading view. I just opened this one for you guys. The other one is here. That it's already marked, so let's use this one that's not marked. You have to clear. So usually when you open trading view, if you're new, you have to first of all clear. So you just it says remove indicators. So I've already done that. So it gives you the whiteboard. Okay. So yeah, so some people mark their charts by trying to identify different points that the market, hits that zone multiple times. For me, sometimes it's that one is a bit stressful. And obviously, when you are used to the market over a period of time, making notes. When you are used to the market over a period of time, you'll be able to identify zones quickly. Like you can just look at the market and you see a zone. So I do that for HFX. Sorry, TBX now. But yeah, it all depends on you, which one works for you. So style number one, just a second. Style number one in marking your charts. Let me see. I'm trying to make this bolder so that you guys can see it. Okay. I hope that makes sense. Okay. All right. So style number one is you look for zones. So this is one zone, for example. Market was able to hit this zone. So like I said already, it depends on you. I don't like this style, so I'll just show you just for showing sake. Right, you mark your chart. I think that this is a zone. It has hit here multiple times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? You are scalping, so you don't need to know everything that's happened overall, except you want to know what trend it is. Is it a downtrend or an uptrend, right? And know which way you want to go. But you don't need all of those backwards here. So I can already see this is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So he has hit that place like 4 times. Maybe you can add this 5, whichever. Then you can decide to do the same thing, up, down, just mark different areas. Can mark here, I can mark here, but I don't like this one, so I won't dwell on this. Can mark this zone as well. Anyway, I take my cursor. I can mark here, you can mark here, whichever. But now the one I do like, that is pretty much easy, it's just that it's a bit time consuming, is when you mark according to the time frames. All right, when you mark according to the time frame. So you go daily. Sometimes you can decide to start with daily, or you can decide to start with 4 hours. It depends on what you're trying to get out. All right, so you mark daily, and then you go with the bottom, the week, the top of the week, the top of the body, the bottom of the week, and the bottom of the body. Did you get that? The top of the week, the top of the body, the bottom of the week, and the bottom of the body. That's what you mark. Okay, and you do this for day, 1 hour, 30 minutes, and maybe 5 minutes. Ideally, you could do everything, but it's going to be repeating itself, so there's really no need. You just pick the ones you want. Okay, by the time you do everything, it will be too much. You'd have spent a lot of time. So once you do day, 1 hour, 30 minutes, you see that it repeats itself. So let's do that right now real quick. Okay, so I'm going to mark that. So this is the week, top of the week. You mark that. Usually you're not supposed to mark where price is at that very moment. Price is here. So I will not mark the first candle, the body, the top body. All right. Now it so happens that there is really no week. So it closed there. All right. I hope this is making sense. You do the same thing for the second candle. Right? You do the same thing for the second candle. The reason why you're doing the second thing for the second candle is this. This whole candle was 24 hours. This is another 24 hours, which is 48. Do you understand? So you want to make sure that you are really getting where price has been at over the past 48 hours. Do you understand? You're trying to get where price has been at repetitively over the past 48 hours. All right, I hope that makes sense. So if you decide to take 4 hours, then it means you're trying to get where price has been at repetitively over the past 4 hours. And then when you do 2 4 hours. So that means you're looking at 8 hours in total. I hope it's making sense. So sometimes when you see these things or you are told this, some of you don't understand why. Everything has its reason. We're not just doing things for doing sake. It's got its reason. I repeat again, when you take the D and you mark only the first and the second, you're trying to see where price has been over the past 48 hours, repeating what are the points that price has repeated itself. If you want to start with just 4 hours and say you don't want to take day, right? You just want to start with only 4 and then go down. It means you're trying to take where price has hit repetitively over the past. You take first and second candle. So you say over the past 8 hours. If you take only 1 hour, you take first and second, it's the same thing. If I take first, second, third, you're taking over the past 3 hours. Do you get me? Does that make sense, guys? So now let's keep drawing. So we do body for this one because that's not where price is at. Remember I said there's got to be the week. So even if it's not super, I want to rush this because some of you, I believe, know how to do this. So let me just rush this quickly. Please, if you don't understand what I'm marking, just let me know. So I've done day. Let me quickly go to 1 hour. Let me quickly go to 1 hour. Just 1 second. Okay, I want you to see it well. All right, perfect. So once the 1 hour, you do the same thing again. You mark your first one, then this one, then this one. Guys, if you're following me and you understand, just put some, just start following. So market is at this point, so I'm not going to take it. So let me take one last one. Let me do 15. So you can see that it is repeating already. You can see that it's repeating the points without marking some zones. It's already happening on its own. So like this zone, right? So this is telling me something already. This zone. So I will explain how you're able to now figure out a strong and weak one. So we do another one. So remember, like I said, the market can break these zones regardless. This is why when you are scalping, you have to monitor, you got to monitor the currency strength. And then you come to 5, which is where you're going to be doing your analysis. Okay. All right, perfect. Okay, good. So now I'm done marking. I hope you guys saw that. I'm done marking. Okay. Now, remember I said, if you want to find your perfect zone, can you guys see all those places? If you want to find your perfect zone, right, you need to see how many times the market has hit that zone over like the past maybe 31 hour, 2 hours kind of stuff, right? So for me to do this effectively, I need to like come out a bit. Okay, let's come out a bit. Are you guys seeing it? Okay, makes sense. All right. Okay, good. So obviously, now with this, you can already see that this zone is a strong zone. Can you guys see that this zone is a strong zone, right? 1, 2, in fact, this one, 3, market the body 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, this is a very strong zone. Can you guys see what I'm seeing you and what I'm showing you? Can you guys see that? That's a strong zone. This part too is another strong zone. This is another strong zone, right? We can see here market tries to break through, but then it pushes back. You can see it here as well. You can see it here as well. You can see it here as well, right? So inside here is also another strong zone. Okay, you can see it here as well. Can you guys identify what I'm showing you guys? You can see it here as well. So this is another strong zone. So I might want to work from here to here, right? I think this is a good zone. Can you guys see what I'm showing you? If you can see, just put I. What's happening in my system? If you can see it, put I. Okay. Okay, my system tried. Can you guys hear me? Because I think I lost my network for a second. Can you guys hear me? Okay, yes. Okay, good. Great. So you can see it's good. So I want to work from this zone, right, down to this zone. Okay, because this is a strong area. So now this is AUD USD. Let's go back to levels. Let's go back to levels. Can someone help me check AUD USD, which is stronger? Now, AUD USD was called for a buy, right, according to the educator. So what I want to do next is, sorry guys. Okay. So what I want to do next is see if the setup right now is good for a buy. So now remember it fell down, right? And it's going up. So I would rather want to take it for a quick sell at this moment, a quick sell. So that means if I want to take it for a quick sell, because it has already retraced up, so I want to work against the current distance. So I want to take it for, so this is 5 minutes, AUD USD. So right now market is here, okay? Market is at this point. And then there's this zone. So I might put my entry at this zone. If market hits this zone, or I can even take it at this zone because I want it to come down. So any quick coming down is my profit. Do you get? This zone is a strong zone. This zone is a strong zone. So I can enter even now for a sell, a quick one, right? So that when it falls, now it has fallen here. This is already a profit for me. I come out immediately. Are you guys seeing what I'm showing you? See, I entered here. It's already here. I come out quick. You end the trade. You take another one again. Position. It goes, oh Lord. It goes up again, right? It goes up again. It goes, so as the amount of times the market goes up and down, those are your profits if you're scalping. Do you get? I remember you just only want to take it for going down. So you see, as it keeps going down, you take it. You wait for it to come up again, hits this zone, you take it again for a sell. You wait for it to come up again, hits this zone, you take it again for a sell. Does that make sense, guys? Is that making sense? If you are seeing what I'm saying, let me hear the sense. Let me hear you say that it's making sense. Okay? It's making sense. See, it's coming down. Can you guys see it? I would have already made quick $10, $20 in multiple places. Why? Because I was able to identify a zone. I saw the move of the market ever since, what it has been doing for the past 31 hours, right? Mark my zones, know the direction I want to go. Even though the idea was called for a, where's my levels? Even though the idea was called for a buy. Initially, I told you when it was at this point, I was like, okay, guys, I'm going to go in for a buy. But now it's at this level, I'm saying, no, guys, I'm going in for a sell. Do you get me? I hope you guys are following. I hope you guys are seeing what I'm showing you. Very, very important. Then, obviously, I didn't check currency strength meter because I could already see here from the currency that AUD is stronger than USD, right? So in this case, what you want to note is this. Whenever you see that the strength of that trade, or that pair rather, is stronger, so you know I'm taking it for sales, right, at this moment, it means that I cannot stay on this trade longer than 5 minutes. Any scalping that will make me stay on that trade longer than 5 minutes is a sign that, oh, at this point, if this thing breaks even, let me just go. There's no need to make profits. It is better it just mistakenly breaks even, I go. Because why? Currency strength would always tell you the direction of the market. All right. So obviously what this currency strength is telling you that within 5-10 minutes, this market will still go up. The buyers are more stronger. So even though I'm making quick, I'm taking quick snippets or money from this trade as it fluctuates, right? This is still the trend it intends to go, because AUD is 54, USD is 23. So USD is not as strong as AUD. But for every 1 point USD gains, the market will come down. It will show on the market, right? For every 1 point, see now AUD has taken 1 point, 54, 50. So this fluctuation as well can help you like take out quick money from the market. Because for each time AUD goes up to 56, the market moves up. For each time AUD goes down to 54, the market moves down a bit. Those up and down movements is my profits that I can take if I can understand. So this is why I say you have to also trade with currency strength meter. But this market would overall be an uptrend overall. Why? Because AUD is stronger. So even though it's going to be giving that up, down, it will still be giving you higher highs. I wanted to use my whiteboard now, but that would mean I have to pause this. It will still be giving you higher highs. Just give me 1 second. Stop sharing. I hope you guys are seeing, because I'm not checking this thing. I really hope you guys are seeing what I'm showing you. It will keep giving you higher highs, right? Because it's an uptrend, what you will keep seeing is higher highs. Just 1 second. Okay, good. What you keep seeing is higher highs, right? This is what we call higher highs and higher lows, because this is the low point. This is what we call low. This is what we call high. The high is increasing, so it's called higher highs. The lows too are increasing, so it's called lower lows. So overall, it's an uptrend. But remember, I taught you that in between is what you are stealing and making profits. I told you I was going to take it for bearish now, right? The time it comes down, like this is going up. Sorry for that. So the time it comes down is my profit, right? So that means this one is my profit. It goes up, it comes down. This down is my profit. It goes up, it comes down. This down is my profit. Remember, you have to only open 3 positions, 3 to 4. Okay? Does this make sense? If it makes sense, let me see you put some cents. Let me see you put some cents. That is like the nitty-gritty. Okay? There's more to scalping than this, but this is the basic. If you want to just you just want to get the idea of scalping and make money, then this is the basics. Okay, this is the basics. You just quickly understand it. You do this. Remember the news, because the news can create that drop. Remember I said there could be a very, red candle that would just drop. One day I was trading and I didn't know that there was news going on dollars, and then boom, just one trade fell down. Like, what just happened? All right, so I see it makes sense. I'm going to answer your questions shortly. You can already start putting them, because we are almost done. Wow, we're almost done. I just want to show you my account. I just want to show you like a trade that was taking some time. Once you can see my screen, let me know. Okay. All right, so this is results. It's not an open position. So this was like last week or so. Okay, so yeah. Now this all the stuff was me scalping, right? Was me scalping. Can someone help me mute, please? In fact, let me do that myself. Okay, good. All right. So all of this stuff was me scalping. Okay. Scalping, you have a target, right? And I was scalping BTC. I just felt like I normally don't trade BTC, but I felt like. So now you can see, now there's something very intelligent I want you to notice. Very intelligent that I want you to notice. Now I enter 0.21 lot size. I told you 0.21 down to 5, mostly what I try to use. So I enter 0.21, 0.21, 0.21, 0.21, 0.21, 0.5, 0.4, 0.3, 0.2, 0.1, 0.1, 0.3, different ones. Do you know why? This is something that some of you do not know. When you are opening multiple positions, don't use the same lot size. This is how I work. If my first lot size is 0.5, maybe this one, 0.5, right? And the market came down. Okay, so this was for a sell. So let's say the market went up. So I entered 0.5 and the market went up instead of going down. Remember I told you the market can do anything. While it is going up, right? And this was 0.5. My next distinct position I'm going to take will be a larger position, not a smaller position. If I start with 0.1, for example, I enter the first trade with 0.1, and the market moves against my direction, it doesn't immediately fall down, it goes up a bit. My next lot size will be a larger lot size. So this is why when you are scalping, don't let your first lot size be the largest lot size. If your goal is to use lot size 0.5, eventually start with 0.1 and grow it, because the market can move in a different direction. This is how to apply proper risk management when you're trading. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So, but some of you, if you're entering, enter the same lot size 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. You want to kill your account? No, it will, like, it. Always remember, every trade can go against you, even though you have all of this setup. You see how everything was sweet. I explained it. You guys enjoyed it. It could also go against you. So this is why your first lot size should be small. Now, the reason is this. I wish I could share. Okay, let me just pause this and share my screen. The reason is this. The reason why you need to note that is this, right? How the calculation works. Remember, the higher the lot size, the more the money. The less the lot size, the lesser the money. Does that make sense? So now, if I take my first one at 0.1, market, I want the market to come down. But the Otondo say, no, he wants to keep going up for a while. Market goes up, right? I enter 0.2. Market says he wants to go up again. I enter 0.3. Why? Because if this Otondo decides to come down from 0.3 down to even small, guys, this profit can negate this loss. This profit can negate this loss. While you are losing for this 0.1, market is going up. So obviously you'll be in minus. I hope you're seeing what I'm showing you. Obviously you'll be in minus, let's say minus 10. Okay. That's why I tell people trading is about sense. You don't just trade for it. You need to apply all of this. This is minus 10. Now market has gone up. Right now, this one is minus 5. You're in minus 5 here. Market has gone up. You now entered here at 0.3, right? If this market decides to come down, do you know this minus 10, you have made it from this 0.3, because 0.3 is times 3 of this your initial lot size. So whatever you would make here from minus 10, you can easily make that plus 10 back with just few pips, because you have a higher lot size. And as long as the setup, your direction is correct, obviously market will come down. There's no how market, it will come down. It must come down for at least a very short while. So those short while, when it comes down, I've stolen 10. If it decides to go up back again, I take another 0.3. While this one is still on minus 10 and this one is still on minus 5. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to recover this 15 in case I decide to close the market and say, okay, you know what? Let me close at a loss. I have recovered it from this one and even more. But if you are starting your first position, oh, market is sweet, let me scalp. Oh, they say scalping is nice. Adaora has taught on scalping. Oh yeah, let me enter. You enter with 0.5. You have an account size of 250, maybe you're using leverage of 1:500, and you're entering 0.5. That's if you do the calculation, you can check if it's possible or not. You enter 0.5, and the market goes against you. You want it to go down, but guys say he wants to go up for a while. Do you know what then happens? You are losing times 5. So by now, this is already maybe minus 50. And at this point, you want to enter multiple positions. Imagine you entered multiple positions. You're doing it sharp, or you enter this one times 3 of it at this point. Times 3, 0.5 lot size. Do you know how much you have lost already for just little pips? If this market decides to, okay, that day US is say, I'm not with you, I will show you Pepe, and it decides to go up, do you know how much you are losing? So this is why it is important. Your first trade has to be a small lot size. Then when you see that, your setup is really playing out, you can now increase your lot size. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay, I see that you guys have questions. I wanted us to quickly so let's just assume that if you took the trade idea I showed you, then you would have gotten your profits. Maybe we can have another day where we just come together and we are scalping this out with this thing. If we have to start that now, time is really gone. I have to jump on something else, but let me look at your questions if you've got one. But I really hope that makes sense and you start applying that. When you apply these rules, you get all of these things. Trading becomes easier, right? Trading becomes easier. So please, if you've asked the question, you can just put it back again. If you've asked the question, put it back again, and then we would go into it quickly. I have to jump off this call, honestly. So just quickly, we ask your question. Let's look at it. It'll take like maybe 3 questions, 3 intelligent questions. Any more questions outside, then we can probably you can reach out to your coach and mentor. They will help you or put it on the group. Let me see. Okay, can I recommend a broker? I use Corto. I use Cort 4X. Can you shed more light on the specific sport where to mark? All right, let me stop this recording.